There's not a day that goes by where I don't hear 5'11", 130 pounds soaking wet, strong. Pfft, give me a break. I might have to disagree with that.
But first of all, can we at least get those dimensions straight? Jesse's actually 5'10" 3/4, 165 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. So let's not cut him short. And let's not make any assumptions about Jesse's strength based simply on his body weight. As a matter of fact, this is a clip of him right here doing a 550-pound PR on a deadlift. See, if I take out my calculator here, 550 divided by that body weight of 165 pounds gives him a 3.3 times body weight deadlift.
3.3 repeating.
How do you do it?
Well, let me explain. I know how to create leverages. I actually pull the bar into my shins as opposed to pulling it straight up. That way, when I pull straight up and back at the same time, I can wedge myself under the bar. The other thing that I do is I traded in volume for intensity. Instead of doing reps of 5, 6, or 8, I was doing heavy singles, doubles, and triples. To accommodate for that fact that I was using much heavier weight, I had to cut back my deadlift sessions from twice a week to 1 time a week. And when I did, my gains soared. Am I supposed to be impressed or something? Look at those long, skinny arms. You're built for the deadlift, bro. You can't even squat your own body weight if I had to guess. As a matter of fact, I can squat. Here's me squatting 430 pounds, and for you Canadians and Europeans out there, that's 195 kilograms.
Oh, I see. Hey?
But the thing that made me squat so much was once again, using my body to my advantage. And for me, the two things that I focused on was my chest and my pelvis. And with the chest, I went against the grain a little bit. Some people will tell you, point your nipples at the floor. I decided to do the opposite. I had to get my chest up and open. And with my pelvis, I made sure to move it at the same time as my chest, going down at the same time, and especially when I came up out of the squat, they were moving at the same exact time. And the more in sync that I kept them, the more success I had on the squat.
You sure did, Jesse, because again, at that 165-pound body weight, that 430-pound squat is 2.6 times your body weight. Again, a really significant strength number.
And when it came to the squat, unlike the deadlift, it was not as taxing on my body, so I was able to get more sessions in. I didn't have to cut back on my volume. So I did something called the 3 in 10, which is 3 squat sessions every 10 days. So what I did was on my first session, work up to a heavy single, which is just 1 rep. In my second session, a heavy double, and in the third session, a heavy triple, which again is 3 reps. And this turned out to be the perfect mix of volume and intensity for me. And by doing this, my squat freaking blew up. Okay, well, you got a lot of type 2 fibers in your legs or something like that, but you can't bench for shit. Well, he did get one thing right. I can't bench. And I think it has a lot to do with the discomfort that I have from this collarbone that I snapped in half, doing my best Shaun White impersonation, trying to snowboard like a maniac.
Excuse me, do you think that you snowboarding like this had anything to do with it? Being a dumbass could actually result in dumbass accidents.
I don't want to talk about it.
Just saying.
Having said that, I didn't say that all bench pressing was uncomfortable. I meant the barbell bench press was uncomfortable. Oddly enough, the dumbbell bench press was something that I actually did pretty well. And because I'm smart, Jeff, I decided to lean into my strengths and work on this version of the exercise. So right off the bat, I switched over to the dumbbells, and that freed up a lot of the shoulder discomfort because I was able to move the dumbbells freely in space. However, I noticed a problem with my strength, and that was because the dumbbells were drifting a little bit. What I did was I took a tip from Jeff, and I took the inside edge of the dumbbell and brought it down to the outer portion of my lower chest. And so what this touch point did was 2 things. First off, it was really damn comfortable on my shoulders, so I wasn't having any pain or discomfort anymore. And the second thing was it allowed me to stack my elbows under my wrists under the dumbbell. This let me press more efficiently and ultimately more weight. Now something I used to do, which was a mistake, was bench with my feet on the bench. So I decided I was going to take one of the things that I learned on the barbell bench press and bring it over to my dumbbell bench press. And that was using leg drive. By driving my feet into the ground and forward as if I was doing a leg extension, but without my feet coming off the ground, I was able to slide back and up the bench. Not only that, but I was taking the dumbbells and instead of pressing straight up and down, I brought them through their natural arc of up and back. By doing this, as well as the touch point tip that I gave earlier, and putting in the hard work, I went from benching 50s for 3 all the way up to benching 100s for 3. Okay, great achievements, but what are you gonna do next? Brag about your pull-ups? All skinny guys are good at pull-ups. Well, I wouldn't say all of us are good at pull-ups, but I like to think I'm pretty good at it myself. And the way I'm able to do quite a few unbroken pull-ups with full range of motion, by the way, is by adding weight to the exercise. And in my case, I worked myself up to a 45-pound plate. Not only did I get stronger on the pull-ups, but my back got bigger too. And when I took the weight off and jumped back up to the bar, I was flying through those reps every single time. This might piss off some purists, but bear with me because this actually works and it worked for me. I was doing partial reps. Yes, partial reps. Every single time that I did a set of pull-ups, I was going all the way up and all the way down to complete and total failure. But I said, I'm not gonna let my set end after that. I'm actually gonna take it one step further, 2 and 2 failure, as Jeffrey likes to say. So once I couldn't get that full range of motion, I go 3/4 of the way, halfway, quarter of the way, 3 inches. Jeff, that's a lot, by the way. You know, to the point where I couldn't even lift myself at all. And that's when I call it quits on that set. And ever since I did that, not only did my back blow up, but so did my pull-ups. Whatever, dude. I bet you don't even overhead press. That's the hardest of them all.
I do, with my body weight.
Dips? Weighted. Look at those puny arms. Do you even curl, bro? Of course, they're for the girls. Push downs? With the whole stack. Whatever, man. I bet you're not doing the single dumbbell overhead pistol squat, blindfolded, obviously, but only a real man does that. Surprised you mentioned that one. It's one of my favorites, actually. That's it. He's on roids. I'm gonna go follow someone natural.
Yikes. So if you are skinny and you're looking for salvation, you have your answers right here in this video. You can get strong. Also, if you're skinny but want to look jacked, that's possible too. Want to make sure you check out this video right here, Jesse's favorite exercises. If you're looking for a full program, you can find them over at athleanx.com. Old School Iron, the exact program Jesse used to build his strength up to what it is today. If you haven't done so, make sure you click subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video when we put one out. All right, guys, see you soon.